Hi, Sandy Rogers with Ace Dog Sports. I've got something on my mind. It's been really bothering me, and I want to talk to my email list, to the people in San Francisco that might know how much I love dogs and might have worked with me or had some connection with me in regards to dogs. So back in 2003, there was some legislation passed that changed wording for San Franciscans in regards to their dogs. And they took the word owner and changed it to guardian. And I've done some recent reading on that subject, and they felt that it would influence children and open the rights to animal welfare and make people understand that animals should be treated nicely. I'm not sure about you, but I kind of already knew that. And I began to worry about the unforeseen implications of me not owning my dog. Like, what does that actually mean? If that someone else could say they are my dog's guardian, and then they could take me to court. And that's exactly what the people who were not for it, that was the argument. It passed. So you can't own a dog in San Francisco. You can be a guardian. So we already have it. So if children are abused, they're removed to guardianship. It is illegal to abuse animals, all animals. It's not legal in our country to do that. So I'm wanting to know whose voice and for what purpose are these changes being made, and why are the kind and loving people of San Francisco being chosen as the group to make these changes? So I've got a lot of questions and not a lot of answers. I've got, I'm a 60-year-old single woman with no children with a bunch of dogs. And I can honestly say I've dedicated my entire life to the health and welfare of dogs. So I looked into a new ordinance that's coming up in San Francisco, and the voices behind that ordinance are scaring me a little bit, because I have lived through some changes in my country where I can see that polarization of ideas and groups thinking they know best for all, and groups thinking that some of us aren't smart enough to make decisions for our own bodies and our own children's education, now also think that we're not equipped to make decisions for our dogs. So the name of the organization is Shock Free San Francisco. And you should go and read the proposed ordinance and really hear what it's saying, because it's suggesting that your veterinarian, the trainer that you trust, and your family are not, I don't know, mentally stable, smart enough to make maybe possible difficult decisions for your dog. I think tools and dog training are a serious subject, but I think it's an educational subject, not legislation, not a legislative issue. So the next time you're walking down the street and you're passing people, ask yourself, is that person better equipped than I am to make decisions for my dog training? Is that person? Is that person? Is that person? The next time you see politicians on TV, ask yourself, are they better equipped to make decisions for your dog that you don't own if you live in San Francisco? Please remember that there is an entire world of dogs outside house pets in San Francisco. Now, I may rile some feathers saying that, but the truth is there are police dogs, and there are hunting dogs, and there are stock dog dogs. And there are dogs that are loving family members of loving families that have to learn not to chase chickens or look for another home. If that dog could vote to go through a lesson that you might not think is worth it, that you may think is horrible, in order to stay with that family that they love and loves them, is it really a politician's decision? Really? There's another piece of that ordinance that I want you to really listen to. It says, animals are not subjects to be dominated, exploited, or abused. Are those things really the same thing? What would it take for 20 of us to sit down and discuss what is dominated? What animals? Tigers? Cats? Roosters? Dogs? Abused. Even that is really, really subjective. There are people that think that crates are abuse. How many of you were there when PETA went to the Cow Palace and opened the crates of dogs that got loose on Geneva Street and run over and killed in the name of animal rights? I was. It's the questions that I'm begging you to ask yourself. Exploited. What's that mean? Ask the people behind the ordinances. Do you know people in PETA? Have you spoke with them? Do you know what the final agenda actually is? If you enjoy dog sports, I am begging you to find out the answers to these questions before you give a voice to the wrong entities. Thank you so much for listening. I don't have the answers, so it won't be easy to tell me that I'm right or wrong, but I have some very important questions. I don't want the US in my uterus, and I don't want the US in my dog training.